they do see it as a fourth quarter, he's got to pick up his game. He's 20 points back, and he's acting like he's ahead, and he just has to communicate better. And one thing we saw today was, which I thought was very, very clear, yet once again, he says, look, I want to change, I want to reach out to the Republicans, I want to change the whole thing, but by the way, I'm going to sign this executive order, period, end of sentence.
Yeah, and he also went on to say that's spitting in the face of Republicans. Welcome back. Joining us now is David Horowitz, founder and president of the David Horowitz Freedom Center, and editor of FrontPage Magazine, and the author of, and it's just out today, The Black Book of the American Left, Volume 3, The Great Betrayal. Congratulations, David. Great to have you aboard.
Thank you.
All right, so, you know, when David Gergen starts saying that the president's 20 points behind and he's playing like he has a lead, and that he's going to, you know, by signing the executive order, he's telling the Republicans, I'll work with you, but first I'm going to spit in your face. That's pretty bad.
Well, I would say it is, yes. You know, you have kind of something like the perfect storm in Obama's head. The ideology and the ego, the narcissism are joined here. This is a man who cannot admit defeat. He refuses to take the you know, the verdict of the voters. When he's winning, he says, listen to the voters, and when he's losing, he says the voters haven't voted. The 2/3 who haven't voted. You know, there have been studies of those 2/3 who don't vote. They pretty well fall out the same way that those who voted did. I think that Obama, if you look at what he's done, what he's actually accomplished, aside from the damage he's done to the country, he's so damaged the Democratic Party. Let's remember that just a few years ago, when he was elected, Democrats controlled the House, they controlled the Senate, they controlled the White House. It was going to be a whole leftist future. The oceans were going to recede and so forth. And in just 6 years, he's destroyed the Democratic majority in the House, the Democratic majority in the Senate, and I think he's poised to destroy the Democratic hold on the White House as well. Because if he goes confrontational, he's going to come into collision with Democrats in states that did not vote for Obama. They've already taken down a few so-called conservative Democrats. I mean, they're not conservative by my standards, but they are, you know, more realistic than the Al Frankens of the world. I think that Obama could well destroy the Democratic Party for a generation if he keeps on this radical course. He's now threatening the congressional majority with executive action if they don't give him a law that he likes. I mean, that's dictatorship. That's what that is.
Yeah. All right. David, let's in the time we have left, let's talk about Volume 3, The Black Book of the American Left.
Well, this was the watershed moment in the war on terror and in the 21st century for America. The Democrats sabotaged the war in Iraq. They gave it a bad name, and it was actually quite a good war. Bush managed to destroy the terrorists in Iraq, and we should have had a massive military base there. It's a country that borders on Afghanistan, Iran, and Syria. A very strategic position we had, and we should have had 20,000 troops there, and we should have been able to take some of their oil for all of the blood and treasure that we spent in that country. But the Democrats went into attack mode early. They sabotaged the war. They had approved of the war. They voted for the war. They gave eloquent speeches for the war. But they turned against the war for one reason and one reason alone. A left-wing Democrat named Howard Dean, straight out of the 60s, was winning the Democratic presidential primaries. And Kerry and Edwards, who became the standard bearers, flipped. They had made eloquent speeches for why the war was necessary, which it was, and then they flipped 180 degrees, and the Democrats went into a sabotage mode. I mean, it's as close to treason as any major party has ever gotten in this country since the Civil War, and certainly unprecedented.
That's a great, David.
Yeah,
that's a great way to frame it, and a great tease for the book. And I hope it sells 1 million. And thank you. We'll speak to you soon, my friend.
Thank you.
David Horowitz, the book, folks, The Black Book of the American Left, Volume 3, The Great Betrayal. There it is on your screen. Now I'm on your screen. All right, when we come back, we're going to speak to prominent Iranian author Dr. Mark Ben-Uri about Obama's fascination with the Ayatollah.